Right edition. My guest today is Isaac Chase, and he's in Colorado Springs in Colorado. Hey, Isaac, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine, and you're a modern world here. You're joining me. I'm thousands of miles away from you, and you're joining me on Skype. That's kind of cool stuff. Do you use Skype much?
Not a whole lot. I usually just text.
Well, that's all right. So tell me about your world. What is it you do?
Well, I'm a software technician, and I am a big gun advocate, and I'm also a big civil rights and personal freedom advocate. And so right now, for me, that means I'm a marijuana advocate.
So you're into guns and you're into drugs.
You could say that.
Okay. I've never smoked a joint in my life, but I get it about the freedom and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a really interesting topic. Now, particularly with drugs, or marijuana at least, in Colorado, because it's now legal. What role are you playing with the legal part in Colorado?
Well, my partner and I are big fans of personal freedom and big advocates for personal freedom. We've been fighting for Second Amendment rights in Colorado. And now we are focused on bringing the marijuana laws into line, the concealed carry laws in line with the rest of the state as far as marijuana is concerned. In Colorado, although marijuana is legal and it is supposed to be treated like alcohol, you cannot get a concealed carry permit if you are a medical or recreational user of marijuana.
Oh, okay. So jump over to the Second Amendment in Colorado, like the carry. Do you carry?
Yes, I do.
Now, is that a big deal to get a carry? Do you have open carry there, or just concealed?
We do have open carry here. It is not a big deal in Colorado to get a concealed carry permit, but there is a process that you need to go through.
Yeah, I carry also, and I think I've got reciprocatory in your state. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to check. In any event, so I can carry a gun, but I can't smoke pot.
Yes, that's
at the
correct.
At the same time, at least, yeah. Well, in my case, that's okay because I've never smoked a joint in my life. But if I ever wanted to, I won't come there until you get this thing fixed, okay? So what are you doing? What are you doing to fix it? Give me some examples of your day.
So we are proposing an initiative that will go to the voters in 2016 that will let the voters decide to reform the concealed carry law to strike the marijuana portion from the law. Currently, the law states that you cannot be a user of any drugs that are against the law according to the state or the federal government. And so we are trying to get the federal government portion of that law stricken, so it only says state government or state laws.
Are lawmakers endorsing what you're doing?
We have not had any lawmakers publicly endorse what we're doing yet. This is an issue that we believe that the voters would be on our side, but the lawmakers wouldn't. So that's why we're bringing it directly to the voters.
Yeah. With regard to your gun laws there, they've been moving around a lot in the last year or two. I mean, what's the status right now? Last I heard, there was a lot of lawmakers encouraging people to disobey the law with regard to carry and a bunch of other stuff. And where is that at now?
That's true. We've had lawmakers say that. We've had law enforcement officials have said that. Most of the sheriffs have said that they are not going to enforce these laws, that they don't believe in them. Currently, right now, there are Republican senators and House members in the state legislature who are trying to get these laws stricken. But I'm not optimistic that that's going to happen, although I do support it, and I'm doing what I can to help with that. We still have a Democratic governor who signed these laws into place in the first place, so I'm not optimistic that he would sign a law repealing them. In Colorado, we've done some activism, civil disobedience, breaking these laws publicly to demonstrate how ineffective they are, and we got some attention for that, but nothing recently.
Tell me about the marijuana law.
The marijuana law, Amendment 64 in Colorado, was passed a couple years ago, and it was designed to change the state laws around marijuana to allow recreational use. And it was basically sold to the people as a way to regulate marijuana like alcohol, which is another drug. That you could buy it from a store, that you had to be a certain age, that you couldn't be under the influence while doing certain activities, just like alcohol. Mm-hmm. As it pertains to concealed carry, though, this was all left out. This was not addressed when the new marijuana laws were introduced.
Yeah. I heard also recently that your governor, even though he's a Democrat and a lefty, I get all of that, but he had something that I don't agree with left-wing people very often, but he had something that came out of his mouth here recently that I did agree with, and he said it's a tough business, it's all cash, and credit card companies won't interact with, you know, the people in the business, and he was proposing some way to fix that or get around it. What's the news, what's the skinny on that?
That has a lot more to do with the federal government than the state government. The federal banking laws prohibit using the banking system for narcotics, and so it's been a very difficult path for the marijuana shops having to deal in all cash. Slowly it is coming online. There are marijuana shops that are accepting credit cards and other forms of electronic payment. Governor Hickenlooper himself has been he hasn't been very outspoken, but he has been outspoken against the Amendment 64, the marijuana laws. He has been on record saying he didn't agree with it, which I find extremely ironic, considering the fact that he used to own a brewery in Denver and was, in my view, a drug dealer himself. So
I like that's very, very good, very good. Now this credit card business or lack of, with all the cash, a lot of cash I understand goes through the you know, the businesses every day. Is this one of the reasons why you've been pushing this so much with regard to the concealed carry? So store owners.
There's a state issue there and there's a federal issue there. The state issue is that these marijuana dispensary owners and the people dealing with these can't legally get their concealed carry permit, so they can't legally protect themselves. And the federal issue is that if you are caught with a firearm while transporting drugs, you can be charged with drug trafficking with a firearm, which is, you know, very serious crime. So in Colorado, the people who are transporting this money do not feel safe at all transporting it, especially unarmed.
I can imagine.
This is a big issue for these dispensary owners.
Oh, that's a good point, a very valid point. You know what, whenever I see somebody now in Denver, and when I say hi, as in hello, I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Anyway, you know what, your objective then is to get this in front of the voters in 2016, and by then you might even get a new governor, right? Or at the same time, is that?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Well, good luck with all of that, and the governor part two, and all the best, and what's the opposite of hi? Bye. Thanks a lot, Isaac. It was a real pleasure talking to you. Okay.
Thanks for having me.
See ya.